you for staying. Let's get into our first story. And President Akakpo is asking traditional rulers to take a stance against illegal mining in the country. Interior Minister Ambrose Derry, reading a speech on behalf of the president at the celebration of the Wala Dumba, urged traditional rulers to use the powers of the chieftaincy institution to drive home the message that the environment is not for sale. Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
There has never been a time in the 15-year history of the reign of the Wala Overlord, now Hussein Sidi Pilipo IV, that his close family members and associates will love the temporary scrapping of the crossing over the cow to celebrate the Dumba Festival than today. The occupant of the over century-old iconic palace for some time has been unwell and appears to be weak, frail, in pain for such an onerous mandatory yearly tax. First daughter of the overlord, Princess Barkisu Fuseni Pelpu, just held back her tears and shared her disconsolation. We are not always happy considering the sea of people always around to see whether he will fail to cross over the cow or not. Apart from that, he is old and unwell and even has mobility challenges. If he was a young man, he would easily jump over the cow, but in this case, he's an old man. He has lots of people under him and they look up to him for survival. And that's why we are crying, Rafiq lamented. Now, Hussein Sidi Pilipo IV, however, gathered momentum, knowing the consequences should he refuse to undertake the tax or fail in crossing over the cow. Dressed in a faded red smock, replete with 4 talismans pinned to his chest, was led by representatives from all the 12 recognized sects in Wa, including his warriors. He sounded around Many had their hearts in their mouths when the drums were sounded for the last, signaling him to cross over the cow. Amid the tension, anxiety, and the tears from the midst of the people here, the overlord crossed over the cow successfully for the 15th time. A representative of the British High Commissioner to Ghana, Paul Edwards, who was among the crowd, was happy with what he saw.
Very, very joyous that he managed to do that, and so it was again a pleasure for me to be a part of this. And you felt the celebration when it happened, and of course everybody was happy.
So when I was about to cross over the cow, were you having some butterflies in your stomach?
I think everybody did, didn't they? Everybody wanted it to succeed, and of course it did. So we were all very, very happy.
Meanwhile, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry, speaking on behalf of President Akakpo, underscored the important role played by traditional rulers in complementing the effort of the government to possibly change the lives of the people. He therefore called on the traditional authorities to take a firm stance against illegal mining.
As we gather here today, I call upon our traditional authorities to take a firm stance against illegal mining. Let us use the power and respect of our chieftaincy institutions. Command to drive home the message that our environment is not for sale, and that the short-term gains of illegal mining cannot outweigh the long-term cost to our communities.
He noted that safety and security of citizens remains the top priority of the government, citing the influx of foreign nationals into the Upper region, warning that the country's security is on high alert and won't countenance any deviant behavior.
And we will not allow any deviant individuals to take advantage of this situation to infiltrate and perpetuate nefarious activities in our beloved country. Koro Chairman, as you are aware, no nation can develop without the prevalence of peace and stability. Only when the wind of peace and tranquility blows through the length and achieve growth and development.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
In our next story, a man believed to be a serial pedophile in the Upper West region has been jailed 69 years by the Wa Circuit Court on 10 counts of defilement. He will, however, serve a concurrent prison term of 22 years. Rashid Ahmed Anata, throughout the 3-week trial, maintained his innocence on having carnal knowledge with 7 girls. Here's another report by Rafiq Salam.
They have never been weighing in the interest of the public regarding the case of the disgraced 35-year-old wedding MC, Rashid Ahmed, better known by admirers as Anata. He was accused of having carnal knowledge of 10 minors and charged 10 counts of defilement, laced in 4 dockets. He has strenuously denied all charges against him. As usual of him, Anata arrived at the Wa Circuit Court wearing his spiritual Egyptian traditional orange strip garment. He stood motionless with his hands strapped at his back while the presiding judge, Jonathan Abugu, read out the 70-minute judgment. The first docket involved 3 minors and contained 6 counts of defilement. The second docket also involved 3 minors and 3 counts of defilement, while the third docket has 1 minor involved and 1 count of defilement. The fourth docket was, however, arrested by the prosecution. He was found guilty of all counts by the court and sentenced to a combined prison sentence of 69 years. The disgraced sexual predator will, however, serve combined prison term of 22 years, as explained by the principal state attorney, Said Abdul Shakur, who also led the prosecution.
On the first docket, he found him guilty on all the 6 counts and sentenced him to 8 years imprisonment with respect to the first count and 7 years on all the other counts, but to run concurrently, and that is a separate docket. Other docket, he convicted him and sentenced him to 7 years imprisonment for the 3 counts. That is another docket. On the third docket, he convicted him and sentenced him to 7 years imprisonment. So we have 8 plus 7 plus 7. That is what we now have. So he might be serving about 22 years in prison. That is what happened in court today.
The prosecution was full of praise for one particular man who happens to be the complainant in this case, Ilyasu Baba. They are saying that despite the subculture of the people called Tijabuine, where people don't report criminal matters to the police, but he was out there on the beat and was able to get this judgment.
I did my job as a prosecutor. The court did its job as the court. The witnesses did their job. But the person that this society, the whole of this republic, should be grateful to is Ilyasu Baba alias Bahas. You know our society in Tijabunyen. For those who don't know what Tijabunyen means, in why we say we are all the same. So criminals get away with a lot of things because somebody stands up and say we are the same. This time round, a person who you would call a busybody went to police because of a viral video and put himself on the line, helped the police to get the victims and ensure that justice is done. We should all be grateful to Ilyasu Baba. And the parents who allowed, you know, the girls were more than 17, yet only 9 parents allowed their, we are grateful to the parents, allowed them to come and testify. We are grateful to them too.
In our latest dialysis crisis series, we delve into a tale that unfolds not only in hospital wards, but at the very core of families torn apart. It's a story that talks about choices families of patients make between witnessing their loved ones slip away or embarking on a quest for the means to keep them on the dialysis machine. Richard Kwejunyako tells the narrative of a 15-year-old Priscilla Asante who misses classes twice a week just to be on the dialysis machine.
The humming sound of medical equipment here at the renal unit of the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital welcoming patients. It's a Tuesday morning and 15-year-old Priscilla Asante is being wheeled into the renal unit here.
The doctors told me I have to be on a machine, and I have to be on that machine either twice or thrice a week.
For now, she has to travel nearly 100 kilometers from Fumampong with her mother to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital every Tuesday and Thursday to have her dialysis session.
My mom and dad do not have money either. We have become miserable. I am appealing to the government to help me live through this. Otherwise, I may die.
Priscilla, a junior high school pupil, now carries a weight much heavier than her school bag. Her daily battle now is not with textbooks and homework, but with the relentless adversary, renal failure.
I want the government to support me so I can live to fulfill my dream of becoming a nurse.
The burden of her illness has not only taken a toll on her fragile body, but has shattered her world due to the family's precarious financial situation.
They said that could be 3.5.
They say every section is 350 cedis. And this in addition to getting blood and other medication.
Priscilla's mother, Ruth Ofori, has been a pillar of strength for her daughter and is determined to ensure her only daughter lives. With teary eyes, she shares the story of her family's headache, struggling to cope with the emotional and financial strain that comes with caring for her only daughter battling renal failure.
From the doctors, if I keep on missing this section, I may lose my daughter, and I need the help of the government.
Her voice quivers as she recounts the sleepless nights and endless hospital visits, each one a reminder of their uphill climb. But Priscilla is not alone in this fight. Thomas Vincent Khan has lived with kidney diseases for a decade.
The people who came and could not survive just a week or even a month. So for me to survive it all these 10 years, it's really been a tough one.
For Thomas, the thought of heading to the dialysis machine is not just physically draining, it's also a haunting financial specter. The towering cost of dialysis looms over him like a relentless shadow, casting doubt and despair. Thomas speaks of the silent tragedy he has witnessed over the years, a grim parade of 100 busloads of people who have lost their lives to kidney failure because they lack the financial means to access dialysis treatments.
Most of the time, it's not easy always chasing people or asking people for help because it is very difficult to sustain. For instance, if somebody gives you 1,000 to help you, you can't go to the person every day or every now and then to ask for the same help. And this is a disease that you always have to be coming to the hospital. Without that funding, you can't come for dialysis. And here is a case that it is a pay as you go. So it means that if you don't have money, you can't come for dialysis. And like I mentioned, there are people who have died because they cannot have the money to come for dialysis. And to tell you the truth, there are lots of the people we have lost, not because of the disease, but just the thought of finding money to come to the hospital. That alone has killed them.
Now, Member of Parliament for Yendi, Farouk Aliu Mahama, has cut a sod for the construction of the Yendi Inner Roads. The 4 Inner Roads project will improve the quality of the existing roads to facilitate the movement of goods in the area. The contractors say the project will be completed in 5 months.
The roads to be built will constitute 7.5 kilometers. They will have similar features, with each having 2 lanes, one on each side of the center lane, with a width of 2.75 to 3.5 meters. These roads, which will be asphalted, are expected to be completed by the 31st of March 2024. Speaking at the sword cutting ceremony, Member of Parliament for Yendi, Farouk Aliu Mahama said he promised the people of Yendi nothing but development, and that is being manifested for all to see.
We are moving Yendi to the next level. We are moving Yendi to the next level. Before I became a member of parliament, I promised the good people of Yendi that I was coming to bring nothing but development. We call it Naya Tontiro. So therefore, I am showing the manifestation of why I'm representing you in parliament. I'm using my network as the son of the former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana and the support of the President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to bring all the needed investors. Today, Yendi is to the world. Everybody knows Yendi. Yendi has been positioned to the ambassadors. Yendi has been positioned to the outside world. Yendi has an MP who represents the people with intelligent contribution in the plenary in the chamber of Ghana's parliament.
Contractors of the project assured that the roads will be built according to the specifications.
The roads will be built with the quality expected, respecting the standards of road construction as much as possible, and respecting the standards of safety to prevent and avoid accidents. Our goal is to deliver a road that meets the necessities of the client and communities involved, promoting an environment of cooperation. We wish to proceed with the works, disturbing as less as possible the communities affected by the construction.
In a speech read on behalf of the Overlord of Dagbon, Yana Abukari II, by his secretary Musa Yakubu, commended government for the numerous projects brought to the area, also commending the MP for facilitating these developments.
The projects such as the Tamale Interchange, Tamale Airport expansion, Tamale Military Sports Stadium, Tamale Teaching Hospital expansion, Tamale Market expansion, Eastern Corridor Road project, electrification and water expansion projects, asphalted town roads are projects that Dong is proud to have. This Yendi Inner Roads asphalting project, championed by you, our hard-working member of parliament, Honorable Aliu Mahama, will not only contribute immensely towards the productivity of this area, it will also continue to make Yendi an alternative place to live by foreigners and non-citizens of this area.
Now, residents of Ejisu in the Ashanti region, who until now had been afflicted by deplorable roads, are excited as government has begun the construction of a 47-kilometer stretch of roads in that area. The project, spearheaded by the Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. John Ampotua Kuma, will see poor road networks in about 15 communities tarred and asphalted. Ohiming Teria has this report.
For decades, residents of Chirikrom, Amwoma Chiansi, Wankra, Adadiam, Jamase, among others, have struggled with poor roads. Drivers are forced to stop plying some of these communities, and those who do so also charge exorbitant fares. But through the innovation of the Member of Parliament for Ejisu, Dr. John Ampotua Kuma, construction works on both link and town roads covering 47 kilometers have begun. For Assemblyman for Amwoma Chiansi, Daniel Owusu, the struggle of pregnant women accessing vehicles, especially at night, could soon be over. The Chirikrom Amwoma Chiansi Abrem Road is penned for asphalting. For years, commercial drivers resorted to offloading passengers at the Adadientem junction because of poor road network. Francesca Atta is among residents of Adadientem who have had to trek home for over 5 kilometers because commercial drivers refuse to enter the town in protest over bad roads.
I'm fearing but you see junction soon and Antiaco because they say an affair Yakopaya Doma and paying for who are mobile Muguswa or Moya Mayanti and the pass Omoya because in Shotokrana a bridge and that one it me a break here into me. Bian quantities are one auntie, no change, you know.
Oh, did you say, we are can't make me about the Entem crew, my family.
Oh, yes, of course. On Baba fire, if you say, or trot off on or crying phenomenon.
So Good Engineering and Construction Limited are contractors working on the project. Chief Executive Prince Asari says the firm, which is setting up an asphalt plant, is in good position to complete 25-kilometer stretch by the end of 2023.
Our target is to complete most of the 47-kilometer stretch. Some places have 4 kilometers, some places have 3. So the places that we have started is about 25 kilometers. So hopefully by the end of this year, we should see the ceiling works on those 25-kilometer stretch.
From Edgeso for Joy News, I'm Interior reporting.
Now, a non-governmental organization is using religion to tackle child trafficking and child labor in communities in the Volta, Oti, and Bono East regions. Globe Serve Ministries International and its foreign partners have rescued 5 child trafficking victims at Yeji in the Pru East district of the Bono East region. The children, until they were released by the boatmasters, were used for fishing on the Volta Lake for months. Ohiming Tewe of our security desk reports.
Human trafficking, a form of modern-day slavery, is common in the Oti, Volta, Bono East, Savannah, and other regions. Security operatives and local collaborators often use force in rescuing trafficked victims who sometimes have no access to their families. Such victims are often dumped at shelters and remain there forever. But the Globe Serve Ministries International has adopted an approach of not using the police or the security agencies in the rescuing effort. The NGO is using religion to address the issue of child labor and child trafficking. Stakeholders, including boat masters who own trafficked children, traditional authorities, among others, are invited to dialogue.
We are not here to arrest anybody. No, we are here to have a dialogue with you.
Dubbed the Gospel of Justice, the meeting saw tens of boat owners, farmers, and traditional authorities converge in the Pru East town of Yeji. General Overseer of Globe Serve Ministries International, Reverend Samuel Kofi Dunya, first addressed the meeting.
We, as a Globe Serve, decided not to approach this by coming at pointing fingers at people, but we want to come and walk alongside them, bring all the stakeholders together. Let's talk about child labor. Let's talk about child trafficking. How can we eradicate this? How can we stop it? We elected our government officials and put them there. They alone cannot handle the issue of child labor and child trafficking. But we, the church, I believe we are better positioned to make sure that people's lives are transformed for the better and that they know how to live well for their family, for their community, and thereby affecting our nation.
Reverend Dunya is happy at the gains following a decision by boat masters to release 5 trafficked children.
This issue has been going on over the years. Our approach has been to arrest people, put them behind bars, and what happens? They stay in the bars. What happened to their children? What happened to their wives? Eventually they will come out. When they come out, what do? They become more hardened and they want to continue again to continue on this perpetration. It is not only by arresting people, but we believe that coming at it holistically, helping them to understand what is going on, and thereby with the understanding trained with the knowledge, backed by the power of the gospel, we believe that we can have a holistic approach.
The group's approach has received commendation, especially from traditional authorities. Nana Kwame and Jimmy Non Kokwan Anan represent the Cherepo Mahine.
Jumadia, Omedebema communities, I saw for no Yamesianka or Maya Bibri. Because a Yabutai Bakuno Mobile, send your Baya a eliminate poverty and the child labor, Puma Travinia, I Nina day, a film.
The rescued children will be reunited with their families. From Yechi in the Bono East region for Joy News, Oyemi Interior reporting.
Now, 117 schools are expected on the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology campus within the next 2 days ahead of the preliminary stage of the National Science and Math Quiz. Three-time champions St. Peter's SHS, Achimota School and Wesley Girls will this year begin their campaign from the preliminary stage after losing their seeded spots last year. Jacqueline Ansumayabwa has been interacting with some schools who have been arriving at the KNUST campus in Kumasi.
It's that time where all the schools converge at one place for the National Science and Maths Quiz. We are right here at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where we have about 56 schools arriving for the preliminary contest of the 2023 edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz. So let's have an interaction with most of the students who are arriving today to get to know the expectations, how far and how well they have prepared for this contest.
Me here, I have students from St. Monica's Secondary School. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
You look like you're shy. You're here starting with the preliminaries. How well are you prepared for it? I'll start with you.
We are well prepared. We are just hoping for the best because we have been learning throughout for almost 3 years now, and then we are hoping that it will come out well for us.
All right. But my big question, any school here that you see as a threat to the competition that you're about to contest for? Because sometimes you'd be like, hey, this school is like, we might not be able to conquer them. But let me know, which school do you think is a threat to you?
Well, for me, it's Yellow Kobo, but we are hoping that...
Yellow Kobo? Why Yellow Kobo?
Looking at their performance at the regional championship, they did really well. They were very impressive. It's kind of like a threat.
A threat to you. All right, what about you? Do you think it's so Yellow Kobo?
Yes.
Okay, what about you?
Okay, me, I don't really have a threat in terms of the schools. I believe we are going to face the questions. So if the questions are suitable for us, then we are winning. We don't have any threat.
I've got a couple of them. It's not a couple. All the contestants are here. So can you tell me your name? I'll start with you.
Butchie Bright.
Bright and?
James Guest.
And?
Steven.
Okay. Can you give it to him? Steven. Right. So how has it been for you so far? Last year you got to the preliminary stage. You got knocked out. This year you were back. What is different this time around? Let me start with you.
Oh, we are hoping you should qualify from the prelims to 1/8 or quarterfinals. That's why we are here.
Not the main finale. You don't want to qualify for the main finale.
Oh, if by the God grace we qualify there, we will thank that God who helped us.
Okay. You contested 3 years ago. How was it for you? How has it been? Wait, how has life been for you? Normal. It didn't come with any pressure and all that.
No.
But what were some of the lessons that you learned? Which was 3 years ago.
2 years.
2 years ago, 2021. So how has it been for you so far?
Actually, it was the first time for the school. So preparation wasn't all that easy. Yeah, so but we did our best by qualifying from the zone.
Now, yeah, at least was that your first time?
Yes, please.
And then that was quite a pressure on you, wasn't it? Or it wasn't that much of a pressure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Being here for the first time, pressure was there although, but not all that much.
Okay, all right. And where are you now? Do you pursue your science and maths? Because usually there's this argument that most of the times when we are done, we don't really hear of them. But I'm glad I met you today. What have you been up to?
Right now, I'm currently at UMAT.
Okay.
Pursuing my engineering.
That's great. All right.
Our Father, bless our school, bless our works, and bless our play.
So it's in between easy and difficult. It's not really difficult, but it's not also very easy.
We've gone and we've done our homework on what.
And that's the brilliant note on which we cap off the news this morning. But up next, the news review with Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante. We'll be right back.